Feeling overwhelmed by all the money advice out there? What if building real, lasting wealth is actually simpler? Not some super complex investing scheme you hear about, but more about foundational daily habits. We're going to pull back the curtain today, revealing a kind of hidden blueprint, the one used by genuinely wealthy families for generations. This isn't just theory, we're talking actionable steps. Our deep dives, they're always rigorous. We really dig into the research meticulously. So this isn't going to be predictable content. No, this feels, well, different. Okay, let's unpack this then. What if creating that lasting generational wealth has almost nothing to do with, say, one brilliant, maybe lucky investment?
That's absolutely right. I mean, what we've consistently found in our research is that it really has everything to do with a handful of surprisingly simple, unbreakable daily rules. That's the profound secret, but it's often overlooked.
Right, so we're talking about a complete operating system, aren't we? Not just a few isolated tips here and there, but like a private playbook, something passed down, often very quietly, through generations.
Yeah, and what's truly fascinating is how often these very simple, highly disciplined systems are just completely missed. Most people are out there searching for the complex solution, the secret financial hack, when the enduring truth, the real key, lies in these consistent fundamental principles. Simple, but not easy.
So today we're diving into 5 core rules that these, old money families don't just use, but they actually live by. This is the real kind of unvarnished truth about how the rich really build wealth and, maybe more importantly, how they stay rich. Okay, so for this deep dive, we've spent a lot of time meticulously sifting through the core principles, looking at some of the world's most enduring and, let's be honest, pretty private wealthy families. You might naturally assume their fortunes are built on, flashy deals, maybe inside information or some secret stock tip, right?
That's the common assumption, yeah.
Yeah.
But our research, it reveals something entirely different. Their fortunes aren't really built on just what they buy the assets alone. They're built on these surprisingly simple, almost hidden daily habits and, well, family rules. It's a foundational approach to wealth that, honestly, most people completely miss.
So these are the quiet, the disciplined systems, the things that don't just build wealth, but crucially, protect it for the long haul. This isn't just about making money, it's really about ensuring it lasts for generations.
Yeah, it's about endurance.
We're going to share 5 core rules right from their playbook. And I think you should prepare to maybe rethink everything you thought you knew about how real wealth is created and, maintained. All right, let's dive into that first rule. And here's where it gets really interesting straight away, because it has almost nothing to do with money itself. It's all about the mind.
Exactly. Before a single dollar is invested, before any business gets launched or any big financial decision is made, the absolute foundation is laid mentally. It's a total unwavering commitment to a specific mindset. And look, this isn't just about positive thinking or reciting affirmations. It's a rigorous, disciplined practice. It involves resilience, a deep commitment to constant learning, and maybe most importantly, radical ownership of all outcomes. They truly believe in their power to create success, and they just steadfastly refuse to let any setback derail their long-term vision.
That sounds incredibly powerful. It reminds me of a quote I read from the patriarch of a big shipping empire, a family that literally weathered multiple world wars. He said something like, "Our ships can sink, our warehouses can burn, but the knowledge in our heads and the strength in our resolve cannot be taken from us. That," he said, "is the only asset that is truly recession-proof." Speaks volumes, doesn't it?
It really does. And that philosophy, that's precisely what drives their consistent reading habits, why they attend high-level seminars, actively seek out mentors, and dedicate themselves to fostering this culture of lifelong learning across every single generation. It's about continuously upgrading their mental operating system, ensuring they can adapt and thrive no matter the economic climate.
And it's not just the active learning, right? Our sources show they also put a huge emphasis on things like mindfulness and reflection. That might surprise some people. It sounds like it's a very deliberate act for them.
Oh, absolutely deliberate. Carving out that quiet time isn't seen as a luxury. It's a strategic tool, full stop. It's for deep focus, for managing stress effectively, and for making those clear-headed, often high-stakes decisions. They rigorously set clear daily goals, breaking huge ambitions down into small, actionable steps. And then they constantly track that progress. This mental framework, this unseen architecture of the mind, it is unequivocally the source code of their enduring success. Without it, honestly, any fortune, no matter how large it seems, is basically built on sand, vulnerable.
Okay, so with that mental fortress built, that strong foundation, where do these families then channel that incredible discipline? That brings us neatly to the second pillar, the second rule in their playbook, which really takes over the body and, well, the entire day.
All right, this is what we've kind of dubbed the sunrise contract. Now look, it's pretty common knowledge that many successful people wake up early. We've all heard that. But for these wealthy families, it seems to be far more than just a habit. It's like a sacred, unbreakable promise they make to themselves every single day.
A contract. Yeah.
An early alarm clock is just a recurring theme across almost all our source material on these families. Many start their day well before 6 a.m., and they intentionally use those quiet, uninterrupted hours, not, to immediately dive into emails or react to whatever the world is throwing at them.
Right, getting ahead of it.
Exactly. It's to proactively set the tone for their entire day. So this includes things like exercising, meticulous planning for the day ahead, reading, or deep strategic thinking. It's their time to get on the offensive, rather than constantly playing defense.
And it really seems like health is treated not just as important, but almost like a priceless asset, doesn't it? Completely fundamental to maintaining that high-level performance they demand.
Without question. Daily physical activity. It's scheduled with the exact same seriousness as a critical board meeting. They intrinsically understand that sustained energy and sharp focus are the absolute fuel needed for that high-level performance. You simply cannot effectively manage an empire, big or small, if you can't effectively manage your own vitality.
Makes sense.
And protecting sleep is also right up there. A top priority for maintaining sharp thinking and emotional stability, both absolutely critical for making wise long-term decisions.
There's this fascinating quote from one matriarch who oversees this just massive real estate portfolio. She described her morning routine as, and I quote, "the one part of my day that is entirely mine before the world asks anything of me." Really shows that dedication.
Yeah, and her disciplined ritual, it's incredibly precise. 5 a.m. wake-up call, immediate hydration, then 20 minutes of dedicated meditation, a thorough review of her main goals for the day, followed by 45 minutes of vigorous exercise. This structured, proactive start ensures she always begins on the offensive, firmly controlling her day rather than ever letting the day control her. It's all about intentionality, right from the very first moment.
Okay, so we've fortified the mind, disciplined the body. What's the next surprising piece of this puzzle? The third rule, I think, is probably the most counterintuitive one we found. It flies directly in the face of how many people imagine the rich actually live their lives. Especially, those who equate visible luxury with actual wealth.
Yeah, this one really stands out. We've termed it the vow of stealth wealth. And it might come as a genuine surprise, but one of the most consistent and defining traits we see, not just in old money families, but also among many self-made millionaires, is profound frugality.
Frugality, really?
Really? They grasp this fundamental truth about building and keeping wealth that most people just miss. They deeply understand that the very moment you start to look rich, the moment you begin displaying your wealth conspicuously, that's often precisely when you stop the process of actually getting rich. So they deliberately live well below their means. They meticulously avoid what economists sometimes call lifestyle creep, where your expenses just keep growing to match or even exceed your income. They actively resist that temptation to let their lifestyle inflate just because they can afford it.
That's so interesting because, social media is just relentless, glorifying extravagant spending, the flashy cars, the huge houses. But you're saying many truly wealthy individuals, especially those with multi-generational fortunes, often live surprisingly modest lives.
Surprisingly modest is often the case, yes. They might drive older, reliable cars. They might stay in the same family home for decades. They spend incredibly carefully on true luxuries, if they spend on them at all.
You think about Warren Buffett, right? Famously still lives in the same pretty unassuming home he bought way back in 1958. And this isn't just some quirky habit of a billionaire, is it? It's strategic.
No, it's far from quirky. It's a profoundly powerful financial strategy. Think about it. Every single dollar you spend on something that rapidly loses value, like a brand new luxury car, or maybe an unnecessarily large, showy house, that's a dollar that is explicitly not working for you anymore.
Right. It's gone.
It's gone, or depreciating. It's a dollar that could have been strategically invested and allowed to compound, sometimes dramatically, over time. Wealthy families are incredibly intentional about teaching their kids this core principle from day one. The ultimate goal isn't to look wealthy, it's to be wealthy.
Okay, there's a difference.
A huge difference. This means they relentlessly focus on acquiring and holding assets, things like stocks, profitable businesses, income-producing real estate, not fleeting status symbols. They understand that true wealth, the kind that actually endures, is often invisible to the casual observer.
I remember reading about a member of a big tech dynasty, someone with easily a 9-figure net worth, who apparently still drives a 10-year-old Honda. His simple logic was just crystal clear. He said something like, "This car costs me almost nothing to maintain. Gets me from A to B just as efficiently as a new Ferrari. The difference," he pointed out, "in what I would have spent if invested over 10 years is worth immeasurably more to me than the brief thrill of a new car." And then he added, "We teach our kids to be impressed by a balance sheet, not a driveway."
That anecdote just perfectly encapsulates it, doesn't it? This vow of stealth wealth, this commitment to living below their means. It is arguably the most powerful defense against the #1 killer of fortunes, large and small, uncontrolled lifestyle creep. It's a foundational secret, really, of how these families preserve and continuously grow their wealth, rather than watching it just evaporate over time.
Right. Okay, so with a disciplined mind, a frugal lifestyle firmly in place, the fourth rule seems to create this powerful engine, something that truly works for these families around the clock almost automatically.
Exactly. This is what we call the ghost in the machine. And it's all about leveraging automation and unwavering consistency. Wealthy families understand, perhaps better than anyone, that relying solely on willpower to save and invest consistently. That's often a losing battle for most people.
Yeah, willpower fades.
It does. So instead, they engineer a robust system, a system that does the heavy lifting for them, making the right financial decisions almost automatic, taking the day-to-day emotion out of it.
How does that work practically?
Well, the main idea, a principle often talked about, but maybe rarely implemented with such rigor, is to pay yourself first. They treat saving and investing not as something optional, if there's money left over, but as a non-negotiable bill, just like a mortgage payment or taxes.
Okay.
So a preset percentage of every single dollar that comes in, whether it's from business profits, a salary, whatever, is automatically moved into designated investment accounts before they even get a chance to spend it. It just happens, systematically.
That takes the decision-making burden off then?
Completely. And crucially, they start early.
Yeah.
And they invest regularly, almost religiously, no matter what the market is doing day to day. They aren't trying to time the market, buying low, selling high, which is a common misconception about how to make real money long term.
Right, that's often just gambling.
Pretty much. They know that real compounding wealth is built primarily through time in the market, not timing the market, just letting the magic of compounding do the heavy lifting for them over decades. Their focus is on consistent long-term investments spread across diverse asset classes, stocks, real estate, maybe private businesses.
Diversification.
Yeah, that strategic diversification acts as a crucial safety net. It protects their overall wealth if any one area experiences a downturn.
We found a specific example in our sources.
Yeah.
One family with this long-standing manufacturing legacy, they established a simple but incredibly powerful rule like 3 generations ago. Their rule was that 20% of all income from the factory's big quarterly profits, right down to a teenager's summer job wages, would be automatically invested into a diversified index fund. No questions asked.
And they literally call it the ghost, because it just operates silently, tirelessly, relentlessly in the background. It's this invisible but undeniable force, creating more and more wealth without requiring daily oversight or those emotional, often knee-jerk decisions. This automated discipline ensures their wealth engine is always running, continuously compounding. It's truly a core reason why the rich often just keep getting richer. It's the system working.
Okay, so all these rules, the mindset, the routine, the frugality, the automation, they're incredibly powerful on their own. But this final rule, the 5th one, seems to be what truly ensures the first 4 actually last. How it moves beyond just one person's success and becomes enduring generational wealth.
Exactly. This is what we're calling the chain of knowledge. Building a significant fortune is one monumental achievement, absolutely. But ensuring it doesn't just disappear, or maybe worse, become a source of conflict or burden for the next generation, that's an entirely different and often much more complex challenge.
You think about some of those iconic families, like the Rockefellers, for instance. They didn't just pass down vast sums of money, did they? They meticulously passed down a whole sophisticated system, values, financial principles, operating rules that has kept their legacy and, their wealth largely intact for over a century. They understood the profound importance of legacy wealth beyond just the dollars and cents.
That's a perfect example. These wealthy families are incredibly deliberate, very systematic about teaching financial literacy from a really young age. It's not an afterthought. Many of them have actual formal structures in place, things like regular family councils or maybe annual family meetings specifically designed to discuss shared values, to review business plans together, and to instill a deep understanding of the responsibilities that inevitably come with wealth.
So it's structured, ongoing education, not just informal chats.
Very structured in many cases. They involve their children early, often in genuine financial conversations, providing them with real-world education and practical skills like budgeting, strategic investing, even the importance of responsible philanthropy and giving back to the community. It's not just theory from a textbook, it's practical application, often starting from a surprisingly young age.
That makes sense. They learn by doing, essentially.
Exactly. They intrinsically know that the greatest legacy they can possibly leave isn't just the money, it's the knowledge. It's equipping their heirs with the indispensable tools, the wisdom, and the discipline to not just manage, but actively grow and perpetuate the family's wealth responsibly for the future. And this education often extends far beyond just money, too. There's often a heavy focus on building strong, supportive networks, understanding the critical importance of the people you surround yourself with for long-term success.
And then I suppose there are the practical steps, too. The legal side.
Oh, absolutely. That's crucial as well. They create highly detailed estate plans. They meticulously use sophisticated legal tools like trusts, foundations, things like that, to protect assets, protect them from being diluted, mismanaged, or even excessively taxed as they pass across generations.
Right, the nuts and bolts.
But, and this is key, the legal documents, while absolutely essential, are ultimately just a backup plan. The true overriding goal is to ensure the next generation profoundly understands the why behind it all, the values, the discipline, the long-term vision. As one family's guiding motto eloquently puts it, we are not leaving wealth to our children, we are leaving it through them.
Wow, that's powerful. Through them.
Isn't it? The money itself is merely a tool. The real, invaluable inheritance is the wisdom, the discipline, and the understanding of how to use that tool correctly and responsibly. This truly is one of the ultimate secrets of how the wealthiest families maintain their position, generation after generation.
So, when you boil it all down, you see the big secret to building and sustaining lasting wealth. Well, it isn't really a secret at all, is it? Not in the way most people think of secrets, like some elusive magic formula or an unheard of hot stock tip.
No, definitely not. It's certainly not about one brilliant, lucky investment that changes everything overnight. The enduring success of these truly wealthy families, it doesn't stem from complexity at all. It comes from a remarkably disciplined, consistent system that they simply adhere to day in and day out. It's like a complete operating system for how to build wealth, not just for one person, but potentially for generations.
Yeah, it really seems to start fundamentally in the mind. Then it's put into action with that meticulous daily discipline. It's fiercely protected by a commitment to, well, frugality or stealth wealth, deliberately grown through smart automation, and then, crucially, kept alive and flourishing through that unwavering multi-generational education.
Those 5 rules we talked about, the unseen architecture of the mind, the sunrise contract, the vow of stealth wealth, the ghost in the machine, and the chain of knowledge look, they aren't complicated concepts in themselves, but they absolutely demand serious, consistent commitment over the long term.
Right. Simple, but not easy.
Exactly. And here's maybe the best part. These aren't exclusive secrets locked away by the richest families in the world. These are universal, applicable principles for anyone really who's committed to building lasting financial freedom. You can start implementing them.
True wealth, it seems, doesn't show up with a roar or some splashy announcement. It arrives quietly, steadily for those who never stop moving, never stop learning, and just never stop building one disciplined brick at a time. So thinking about these 5 rules, which one resonated with you the most today? Maybe more importantly, which one are you going to actually commit to starting to apply in your own life? Maybe starting right now. If you found these insights valuable, and we hope you did, please hit that like button wherever you're listening. And definitely subscribe to The Deep Dive for more practical secrets aimed at real financial freedom and lasting prosperity. Your own journey to lasting wealth, it really can begin right now. We invite you to explore more of our deep dives, keep building your knowledge base, and start transforming your financial future today.